quite a lot today, Stinky, haven't you? Yes, you have. And you still want to have this apple? All right, well, there you go then. Have a... Oh, yes, you like to sniff the apple first. Yes, big bite there. Yes. Oh, it's delicious. Can I have some? Yes. Oh, it's the Poppets. Hello, my little Poppets, mums and dads, and welcome back to story time once again. Well, Stinky has been eating non-stop today. He told me that he has the appetite of a bear, so I got up this morning and cooked him a very large breakfast. He had bacon and eggs, he had porridge, he had some yogurt as well. Yes, he particularly liked yogurt, and he also had some cheddar muffins, followed by lots of fruit. So he had some fruit salad, and then he said, Mrs. Wiffle Waffle, can I please have a Granny Smith crunchy apple? Because they are my favourite, which he's been eating here. What's that? You're starting to feel a little bit full. Yes, well, I'm not surprised, Stinky, with all that food that you have had today. I think we'll put this apple down for just a bit, and if you want to finish it off later on, you can, all right then? Yes, good boy. Well, Poppets, I suppose we should crack on with today's story, but I must remind all the dear Poppets at home. What's that? Yes, I'm just about to say that, Stinky dear. You mustn't forget about our free book giveaway. 2 books that we will be giving away. Pick the Winner and, of course, That Very Pesky Rat by Aaron Blaby and Lauren Child. Now, those 2 books will be drawn on the 9th of December. And all you have to do is to give Mrs. Wiffle Waffle 3 reasons, of course, why you enjoy story time so very, very much. And all you have to do is to pop your answers in the comment box down below. And that will be exciting, Stinky. I wonder who that lucky Poppet will be. Yes, what's that? No, yes, there's plenty of time yet. It's not going to be drawn till the 9th of December, so there's plenty of time for those Poppets to pop their answers in. Yes, very, very exciting indeed. Well, I suppose we should crack on with today's story, which is called, my dear Poppets, The Very Hungry Bear. And thank you, Stinky dear. Yes, The Very Hungry Bear. And this wonderful book has been written by the wonderful Nick Bland. Yes, a very, very good one indeed. So yes, another animal that has a very, very big appetite, the very hungry bear, just like my Stinky. He was very, very hungry indeed today. I can't believe, Stinky, how much you have had to eat, my dear boy. You have got an appetite, I have to say. And here we go, my dear Poppets. The bear was in a grumpy mood. He hadn't eaten any food, and he couldn't catch a single fish to cook. He'd been hungry since the break of day, and every fish Stinky had got away. Well, there's Bear there, my dear Poppets, and thank you, Stinky dear. And he does look very, very cross indeed. I suppose because he's very, very hungry and he hasn't been able to catch any fish. Yes, very, very hungry indeed. And that's true, isn't it? When you're hungry, you feel sick in the tummy and you're very low on energy, and if you haven't had anything to eat, it does make you quite cross, quite grumpy. Now suddenly something huge, Stinky, was on his hook. Yank! He cranked the handle round and round, he yanked the line, wound and wound, he flicked it here and waved it over there. A hungry bear is very strong, so it didn't take him very long to discover that he had caught, and I wonder what he's caught, my dear Poppets. There he is there, determined to catch a fish for his breakfast. I wonder if he has, or what's on the end of his line. Hopefully a nice big juicy fish, the bear to have for breakfast. Oh, it's not a fish, a polar bear. Do you have a fish there? Said the hungry brown bear. You are catching all of the fish. I'm sorry, he said as he lifted his head. You can have one of mine, if you wish. Oh, well, there he is there, my dear Poppets. A lovely white polar bear there, with a paw full of fish. So many, many fish there. Lots and lots of fish. Yes, perhaps he will share the fish with Brown Bear. Perhaps he will. That would be a nice thing to do, I think. Then he added with a smile, "You can have the whole pile if you just find me somewhere to stay. My iceberg is shrinking and soon I'll be sinking." Oh, he'll be sinking, Stinky, how dreadful. "And my home's such a long way away." Well, there he is there, and the two of them there are talking away, and Brown Bear is saying, "Can I please have some of your fish?" And Polar Bear said, "You can. You can have the whole pile, but first you must find me somewhere else to stay." Yes, a polar bear sinking on the ice is not good indeed. You'll have to find a new home. Now, a fish to a bear is like a chocolate eclair. Oh, Stinky, I do like a chocolate eclair, I have to say. What's that? I eat too many chocolate eclairs. Oh, yes, I suppose I do. I do like cake, as you very well know. And a chocolate eclair, my dear Poppets, is wonderful with a hot cup of tea. It's incredibly hard to resist. So the thought of a pile that would last for a while was an offer too good, Stinky, to be missed. Well, there's Brown Bear there, and he's running off into the woods with his pile of fish, with the polar bear trailing behind him. Perhaps you'll find somewhere to stay in the woods. I don't know. Just going to have to wait and see. With a splosh and a splish and an armful of fish, Bear led the way through the trees. "My cave's over there, and I'm happy to share. You can stay for as long as you please." Well, there they are there in the woods. Perhaps the polar bear will be happy in the brown bear's cave. I don't know. A cave would be a very cozy place to stay, I think, and especially to have a nap, cozy and warm, especially during the winter. But his guest shook his head. "I'm so sorry," he said. "Whilst your cave is particularly nice, it's just a bit hot for this coat that I've got, and the fire is melting my ice." So they went to see Mole, and he dug them a hole which was cooler but just a bit small. Well, there's the polar bear there with his piece of ice that is melting. I'm sorry to say, it's dripping all over the floor of the cave, and it's just way too hot for the polar bear. Now, the brown bear took Polar Bear to see Mole because he had the bright idea. He thought perhaps that might be a lot cooler for the polar bear. But I'm afraid, my dear Poppets, it's just too small. And they visited Croc on his cool river rock, but he wasn't that helpful at all. "Perhaps this is best," said the bear from a nest, "but I think that I'm going to sneeze." Then he squinted his eyes and he said with a surprise, what did he say, Stinky? He said achoo! Yes, I think he did say achoo. Well, there he's there, poor polar bear, sitting up in the tiny nest, which just will not do at all. No, that's just not the place for a polar bear. No, that's not going to do. Achoo! I'm allergic to trees. So the bear with the white hair followed right behind Bear to the place left they could go, away from the trees and the warm summer breeze, Stinky. Well, there's Polar Bear there sneezing away, and now they have to go and find somewhere else for Polar Bear to stay. They're just not having any luck at all. Yes, no luck. But let's keep our fingers crossed, perhaps they'll find somewhere for the polar bear. All the way up to the snow. They built him a home with an icy white dome, Stinky. Well, there's Brown Bear there, and he's helping his new friend, the white polar bear, and they are building a dome of ice. Now, I think that's much, much better because a polar bear, of course, my dear Poppets, does belong in the snow. Yes, where it's nice and cool. Just too hot anywhere else, I'm afraid. And Bear left a housewarming dish. With a smile and a wave, Bear went back to his cave, Stinky. Well, now the polar bear is happy because he's nice and cool in the snow, and he has an igloo there, some place where he can get out of the weather, and Bear is heading back off to the woods. So Polar Bear got a perfect place to stay, and of course Brown Bear got to have lots and lots of fish. and he stopped on the way for a fish. Oh, he's doing some more fishing, some night fishing. And there he is there, doing a spot of night fishing. Perhaps he'll catch a fish this time. The end. And that was called The Very Hungry Bear by, of course, the wonderful Nick Bland. And thank you, Stinky dear. Oh, wonderful, wonderful book indeed, and very fitting, Stinky, for today. What's that? You're not hungry anymore. Oh, well, I'm glad that you're not, Stinky, because, my dear, you have eaten an awful lot of food, and you're going to have a tummy ache if you keep eating like that. What's that? Sometimes you just get very hungry. Yes, well, you are growing, so perhaps you're having a bit of a growth spurt, I think. Well, my dear Poppets, mums and dads, thank you so much for tuning in for story time. I hope you enjoyed that wonderful book. Perhaps you could read a book about a polar bear, or perhaps you could pretend to do some fishing. And as always, my dear ones, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye.